Hey YouTube, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope everybody had a lovely weekend. It was nice here and it is a beautiful day here today, Monday in South Alabama. So let's get straight to it. I want to talk about the raw vegan diet diversity, gut microbiome, and we'll throw a little bit in on gas and bloating. Guys, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate if you'd go down and hit that subscribe button now. Then click on that little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. You know, I've talked a lot on here about doing my own research and how I study stuff and go through stuff, but there is no rhyme or reason. I just kind of plod along at my own pace. Something catches my interest when it catches my interest. Sometimes something will catch my interest and I'll realize that a bunch of people have told me about it, but like I say, my process. I come to things in my own time. And this subject, and one of the people I'll mention today, and some of the stuff I mentioned about it this past summer when we're talking about the gut microbiome. And it's also too, there's a little synchronicity to it about how, like, a lot of times when I'm thinking about something and I start looking into something, I just find more sources and then it just kind of rolls. Like last week, I was starting to think about this book, Fiber Fueled, that I talked about last summer. And the author of it, I wrote his name down. I'm not going to pronounce it right. Dr. Will Bulsiewicz. I think it's a Polish name. Last name is Bulsiewicz. Fiber Fueled. Really good stuff in there, but it goes beyond just the gut, because I read a book. One of the first books I ever read was colon health. I'm talking going way back, going back on probably over 8 years back, almost the first year of doing this. Colon Health by Norman W. Walker. And that just kind of gave me the first glimpse back then. If things are not right in our colons, if things are not right in our gut, if that microbiome is not right, a lot of things in our body are going to have problems. And it's not that hard to reset the gut microbiome. And like I say, talking about this stuff, I'm not going to sit down and try to memorize all the fine points of it. I like to do this. I like to curate content. I like to point you in directions that I'm going in that I consider very important. And once again, I like a lot of the sources that I recommend, or resources I recommend, are not raw vegan people, but you can take this. Honestly, I don't find a lot of good information from just straight up raw vegan resources, except for this raw vegan bundle that just came out with Melissa and all these guys, raw Advantage and what have you. Anyway, that's a different story. But once I started kind of looking into this last week, and I was reading a couple of things, and I watched a video or two, and then I saw Melissa mention something, and then she was doing an Instagram live, and I sat in and listened to that one, and then just kind of got me over the weekend diving in, looking more. Now, I don't have the book. I've watched a couple of I've watched 3 different presentations he's given, and at the end I'm gonna put a couple of links in the description down below, especially of one video that I find might help you a little bit. But yeah, and I'm kind of looking at it for one reason, but I think it can help people in a lot of different ways, because like I say, that colon, the gut, it's a second brain. It affects so much in our body, even things that you don't think are related to everything's related to your gut. So also too, he talks about another word, and I've heard Dr. Joel Fuhrman use this word before, which describes my philosophy, or if I'm going to put a label on myself, to a T, and that's nutritarian. Now, I'm not necessarily saying I might define it a little bit differently as Dr. Fuhrman. I might define it a little bit differently as Dr. B here. But nutritarian is basically just, instead of worrying about the raw, the this, the that, the blah, 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 it's about getting as much nutrition in every bite of food that you're taking, as much nutrition in every calorie that you're putting into your body. And another thing too that I've been learning, going back and listening to some of this stuff, and like I say, that's why I'm never going to close my mind. That's why my mind is always open and willing to change a little bit. I'm trying to get more diversity in there because I can get kind of in my robotic thing to where I'm just eating the same few things over and over. And we need that. We need diversity. We need to eat a lot of different stuff. The healthiest people are the people that have the most variety of good, healthy plants in their diet. Especially the legumes too. That's really pleasing to me that in a lot of different ways for a lot of different reasons. I'm just so happy that I've started, I started sprouting regularly, daily, pretty much daily. I'll miss a day every once in a while, but pretty much daily because the fiber in the legumes. Now, if you're not eating cooked, I don't have a problem with cooked either, but if you're not eating cooked, definitely sprout those legumes. But yeah, that diversity, you need that diversity. And there's a lot of ways. One thing too, I want to read a little bit from this article I got, but one thing he was talking about last night, and that's why I put that last part there, gas and bloating. I'm going to drop that particular one in the description below. But the thing is a lot of these things you guys ask me about, oh, when I eat this, it does this, or I can't eat this, or I can't do that because it gives me gas and bloating. He gives you a lot of little tips, and I'm sure in the book even more of like how you can start to repair that, how you can start to heal the gut. And even some of these things that people can't eat, you start very small. You eat a couple of bites of them. A lot of people, some people, like I say, I could pretty much eat a tire and digest it. But I heard somebody talking the other day about not even being able to digest lentil sprouts all that well, and starting, just by eating a little bit. Or if you're eating cooked food, some people have problems with legumes, with the gas, with the bloating. And Dr. B, he was talking about last night where you start as you're building that microbiome back up in a healthy way, where you start and you introduce some of these things in small bites. Maybe you take a couple of bites of beans or sprouts in the beginning, but you need to look at, like I say, number one, I'm not good at memorizing things, and number two, get this kind of information from the source. But like I say, it's not even, I think there's just so many issues that a lot of people would not even associate. The skin issues. You're probably not going to clear those skin issues until you settle that microbiome, your gut microbiome, and have that working efficiently. But let me read here a little bit of the stuff. I'm not going to read the whole article, but there were some good passages in there, and a lot of it's just like, from the standpoint of, is a plant-based diet good for my gut health? But it's a great place to start. Is a plant-based diet good for my gut health? The resounding answer is yes. Multiple studies have shown that diet is a driving force in shaping our individual gut microbiota. The food that you choose to eat will leave an imprint on your gut microbial makeup in less than 24 hours. And when we compare what happens on the most basic level between a plant-based diet and an animal product diet, we observe radical differences. Notably, that less than 5 days on an animal-based diet results in increased growth of inflammatory bacteria, allostypes, bilophila, and bacteroids, and decreased growth of anti-inflammatory bacteria, roseburia, a lot of long name ones. You can read this one for yourself. Dramatic increases in Bilophila wadsworthia, a bacteria strongly associated with the development of inflammatory bowel disease like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. Significantly lower levels of short-chain fatty acids like butyrate and acetate, increased antibiotic resistance in the gut, and production of more secondary bile salts, which are known to cause colon and liver cancer. None of the changes that occur with the animal-based diet are good for gut health. If anything, they suggest that a meat-heavy diet predisposes us to dysbiosis, which some refer to as leaky gut. How do we prevent dysbiosis? The answer also lies in the study above. Short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs, like butyrate, acetate, and propionate, have healing effects throughout our body. They strengthen the good gut microbes and weaken the inflammatory bad ones. They also close the holes in our colon that some call leaky gut. optimize our immune system, lower cholesterol, regulate blood sugar, protect us from killers like heart disease, stroke, and cancer, and even cross the blood-brain barrier to improve brain function. Okay, I won't read all, like I said, I won't read all that. One thing, but that's where we get into the fiber fueled stuff. Let's take a step back for a moment here. I've just told you that SCFAs that come from dietary fiber strengthen the healthy anti-inflammatory microbes, suppress the unhealthy inflammatory microbes, reverse leaky gut, and have healing effects through the body. No question, fiber is our most important essential nutrient for gut health. Fiber is our most essential nutrient for gut health. But beyond fiber, we also know that every single fruit, vegetable, whole grain, seed, nut, and legume has a unique mix of vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals, which are healing chemicals that you find exclusively in plants. And the benefit of plant fiber for a healthy gut is more than theory, it's biology. This is deeply ingrained through 3 million years of microbial and human co-evolution. We need our microbes, they need us. When we feed them fiber, they feed us with short-chain fatty acids. It's an essential and mutually beneficial relationship. And basically, I can't find that exact passage that I was looking for, but we need the variety in the gut. It's not enough just to eat these few things. And a lot of times people say, well, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. I can only do a very simple diet. The less things you eat, the more your diet adapts to that, and the less things that you can eat. So yeah, it's just fascinating. Like I say, it's directions. It's just at this point, at almost 9 years, for me, it's just like finding little things, making subtle changes, tweaking a little bit, this and that. And that's something that I used to do more in Costa Rica, where it was so abundant to me, that I haven't been as good about here. So I'm going to get back to more variety, cutting up more things, putting more things in my salad. Spring is here, summer is coming. Adding more fruits back in there, more so like the winter. I'm not gonna lie, was very heavy on just citrus and bananas, mainly bananas, but a little bit of citrus. Had a papaya this morning. Got 3 nice pineapples on the table in there. One thing I was doing, I used to do in Costa Rica a lot. I think I'm gonna get back to doing is I would always put a head of broccoli in my salads, and I would put it in my food processor to chop it up fairly fine so it's easier to digest. And I would do the same thing and add about half a head of purple cabbage. So I'm going to get broccoli back in. I'm going to get more purple cabbage on a regular basis, and just add a little bit more diversity in. Like I say, it's all about tweaking. It's all about getting a little bit better as we go. But anyhow, I'll drop those links below. I'm basically, I guess, just going to drop a link. I'll drop a link to this article. It might be interesting to read, and I'll drop a link to the YouTube video I was watching last night. And I would highly, highly, highly advise you to listen to one of his talks. Even if you don't want to buy the book, which is worth buying, watch one of the talks. You can and watch this video. It's very concise and it covers some practical things. But also just search fiber fueled YouTube. Watch some of those videos. Rich Roll also has a good talk. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again in a couple of days. Peace.